Hello, I'm killing Lile. This will be my first mini sermon. It'll be on Proverbs 3:5-6. What they say there is, trust in the Lord with all your heart, and lean not on your own understanding. In all your ways submit to Him, and He will make your path straight. Before we start to discuss this, I want to point out that it says, trust the Lord with all your heart. That means not part of your heart. Basically, what sticks out to me is of all of your heart. It means not giving just 99% or 98%. It means giving 100%. All of it, completely. Partial obedience is disobedience, is what Robert Madu said. And we need to take that to heart. Then it says, lean not on your own understanding. That means you don't rely on yourself. You rely on God. You don't rely on other people when you have problems. If you're depressed, you're angry, you don't go to other people to deal with that. It might feel like the right thing, but you really don't. You want to go to God with it, because He is all-knowing. He can do everything. If you have enough faith, He will do it. Then it says, in all your ways submit to Him. That means giving everything to Him. Don't hold nothing back. Become a kamikaze for Him. Just go straight for Him. Don't just stand back in the back of the church when there's worship. That's not how a Christian acts. A Christian worships God. He gives everything to God, not just 99.999% of it. He gives it 100%, 110% even. That's why when I worship, I go to the side of the church, not the back, the side, where I have a little bit more room. I will dance and praise the Lord. I'll scream out the top of my lungs to praise the Lord. Because He has shown me that He is amazing, that He can do anything if you have enough faith in Him. Then it says, He will make your path straight. That means, it doesn't mean that there's always going to be a straight path for your life. There's going to be curves. Who wouldn't have curves in their life? They'll deviate from path. But He'll forgive us. We may sin and go off the path because we're human. We're imperfect. We're not perfect. We used to be perfect until, I'm not blaming girls or anything, but Eve took the apple, tempted Adam, and Adam ate it. Well, it's kind of our fault now, but our men's fault. But we need to believe that He'll set our wrongs right. So your path will be kind of curved, but He'll help you along the way. He's like a GPS, God positioning system. You don't want to just think that He's going to lead you along a straight path and just let you go and not help you out at all. But He'll help you along the way, direct you, show you what you need to do, not just like wind you up and release you. He's going to control you like a one of those remote control cars. He's not going to be like one of those he's not going to let you be one of those wind up toys that you wind up just letting them go wherever they want. You're going to be remote controlled by God. He's not going to let you just run off and help yourself. He's going to actually help you. You just have to believe in Him, have faith in Him, give Him your all, submit in every way. Lean on your own understanding. Give God all your heart, so that He can give you that help. Because if you don't, you won't. As I've heard said, you get what you give in. So if you give in 99%, you're only going to get 99% of God. But if you give 100% of you, you'll get 100% back from God. And you're probably thinking, oh, well, I've given 100%. No, you haven't. No, you haven't. You've given not even close to 100% to God. 100% means giving everything. Having all of your faith. Laying everything down to Him. Up there. So, don't just give 10% like they tell you to tithe, but give out on faith. I gave $2. That was all I had. But then God rewards me by giving me something I have been praying for a long time, which was an MP3 so I could listen to Christian worship music. So, a week after I gave those $2 at church into the tithe, which was all I had at the point, it's Easter Sunday, and we're in the main service. They start throwing these Easter eggs, and I'm thinking, oh, they just have candy in them. And I'm like, I want candy, so I reach up and grab it. 2 seconds after I caught it, they're like, oh, by the way, in one of those eggs is a coupon for a free iPod Shuffle. So as I'm opening my egg, I see this rolled up piece of paper. I'm thinking, oh, it's just a Bible verse. Well, they probably want you to have a little bit of Bible verse to encourage you and stuff. But then I unroll it, I read it, it says, congratulations, you have won a free iPod Shuffle. If that's not a miracle, I don't know what is. Because I gave $2. God gave me a $45 MP3 player. I go out there and they just have it for me. Just sitting right there for me. And why would you not believe if God's doing stuff like that in your life? I gave my faith. I could have spent those $2 on something else like food or whatever. But I decided to go on faith and give it in tithe. I gave 100% of what I had for tithing. And look how God rewarded me. He gave me something that was 20 times what I gave Him. And it was priceless, basically. I still have that MP3 player. I may not have it with me right now to show you, but I have it. Ask my friends. But that's just a story of stepping out on faith and what faith can do. And another instance where I stepped out on faith was when I prayed to. I've been praying to God for a few weeks, and I'm like, God, why did you make me pathologically shy of girls? If you want me to have a girlfriend in the future, why did you make me so shy of girls? Because I am extremely shy around girls. And I've been praying, God, if it's your will, let a girl ask me out. If it's not your will, then let me wait until I have enough guts to ask a girl out. 3 weeks after I'd been praying that, I had been at the Boys and Girls Town in a program called Empowering Youth, where they teach you cupping skills. I'm not going to name anybody there, but this one girl comes up to me, and she talks to me, and she had been helping me through the program because I've been getting depressed a lot for a fair amount, and I've just been really down because around this time my uncle had would usually give me fireworks, and we'd go to his house, shoot them off, and have like really lots of fun because July 4th is Pyromaniacs Day, which I'm a big pyromaniac, my uncle was, so we loved shooting off fireworks. But my uncle hung himself last year, so it really kind of got me down, and it was kind of making me depressed, and she just really helped me relate to, and she'd encourage me. And so one day she comes up to me, she's like, "Do you like me?" I'm like, "Yes." I'm like, wait, no, it's a different girl. She comes up to me and she's like, do you like this girl?" I'm like, "Yes." "Why?" She's like, "Would you go out with her?" I'm like, "Sure." And she's like, "Well, she was asking if you'd go out with her." I'm like, "Really?" She's like, "Yes." I'm like, okay, wow, the Lord does answer prayers. And basically we've been going out for a few weeks now, and I haven't seen her a lot, but it's kind of God's blessing for me, because if you're in temptation persistently, you're most likely going to give in. So her living a little bit distance away from me is kind of good for our relationship to start out slow and then increase. So but that shows you God will answer prayers. God will answer prayers. It doesn't matter unless you're praying for something ridiculous. But if it's something that God thinks you need, He will give it to you. Just don't make it like, "I want a PT Cruiser" or something like that. God ain't gonna do that. He might, if you really need a car and you say, "God, please give me a car," He will give you a car. My family has prayed for a car because ours broke down once. We had a van that broke down, so we're like, "Oh Lord, how are we gonna get anywhere? We're having to catch rides from other people." So one day we're in church, we're praying, "Can we have a vehicle, Lord?" And our pastor comes up to us and he's like, "Do you guys have a vehicle? I saw you riding with people." And we're like, "No." And he's like, "Well, we have a van that we can give you." So we've had that van for roughly going on 2 or 3 years, and God was very gracious in that moment. I've dealt with people who say God doesn't answer prayers. Well, they haven't been praying in faith. And this Proverbs 3:5-6 deals with stepping out in faith, relying on God, wholly on God, not partially on God, wholly, giving 100% to Him, relying on Him and only Him, not other people's opinions, not your opinion, God's opinion. He will position you where He wants you, when He wants you, why He wants you, and who He wants you to be with. So just believe in God, give Him all your faith, and He'll work miracles in your life. He'll do anything. He can do anything. He is God, not just little g God, big G God, big G God. So if you ever are feeling like God's not answering your prayers, maybe it's because you're not praying in faith completely. Maybe it's because you aren't giving everything to Him. Because when you hold back, you're not getting everything back that you want. Because what's the point of Him giving everything if you don't give everything? So that's just my first sermon, Proverbs 3:5-6.